And well, as we get started with our second interview, this is so exciting for me. First of all, because he does not do interviews. You cannot find him anywhere unless he's interviewing himself. You cannot find him being interviewed. There's a lot that we need to get through. The bad boy of radio, Shaffie Weru, the Reverend in the building. What up, Shaffie? All black, thank you. You got the memo?
I see. I knew when I knew that DJ Joe will be here, I knew he'll definitely be having, it's either red or black, but black most of the time, so who am I?
This is a reunion. Have you seen Joe?
Yeah, man.
Neville, come on out. I'm joking.
Too soon.
How is it been 2 years?
Yeah. It's been 3 years.
It's been 3?
No, 2 years, yeah. Going to 3 years.
That is
I've been out there in the cold, chilling.
Yeah?
Yes.
And now you're not in the cold anymore?
No. Now, as in winter is over.
The wait is over. The wait is over.
Yeah.
But it's so good to have you on the show.
Yes.
You haven't done any interviews. You haven't talked about this anywhere. People have been calling you, I imagine.
I've spoken about it on my platform.
Now you
Shaffie.
have, yes.
Yes, but to myself and the new me and the younger me.
Yeah.
And the older me, that is Shaffie Weru, and the Reverend. We had a conversation. Yes, and it was a good conversation.
Yes. So the channel is called Shafted.
Yes.
I like the play. The word play is so cool.
From my name, Shaffie.
Yes.
And from what happened to me, yes. So if you combine them, you get the situation, and then it becomes a brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were shafted.
But it's good that you called me here because, you know, very many people the other day were asking me, yo, you need to go talk to somebody who can ask you questions. So I'm here. Ask me questions on behalf of the people who've been asking me that I need to be asked questions. Because they said I was being biased and I was being condescending, trying to talk to myself. And labda me cheesy, but no, I'm here. So Amina.
Yes.
Shoot.
Maswali ndo hizi. Now, Shafted is going to be about celebrities who have been shafted.
Not necessarily just shafted. It's about celebrating comeback stories.
Yeah.
People who've been there and for some reason, through society or by their own doing, they shafted themselves. You can be able to make a comeback.
Yes.
Or have a conversation around that particular situation that got you at that particular, situation that you're in that is shafted.
Let's talk about it now.
Yes.
The situation that got you here is a link that you had done on radio.
Correct.
Together with Neville, who's an up-and-coming presenter, and DJ Joe Falme, who is
right here.
This is a huge coincidence that by the way Joe is on the show today. And you were discussing this young lady who had, at the time, what we knew was that she had allegedly been pushed, right? And there was talk of sexual assault, and you aired your views, which...
Well, technically, I remember this story very well because the year before, or months before I left radio and then I came back to that particular show, before I left Keys to join Homeboys, I'd done the same story. So it was a continuation of that particular story, but it was in the paper because the court case was going on. There was no sexual assault. It was an issue of domestic violence.
Yes. Or,
these relationships where people are in that are very toxic and, people resort to, violence. So the issue is that there's this chick who had met this guy, and it was like one of those first dates kind of scenario. And then they were drinking at some building, and the guy tried to come on her, or whatever happened. And in the process of her trying to escape from that whole situation, she fell off a balcony. That was the story. You
would not forget it. You have the details.
Yeah, I'll never forget the story.
It changed the trajectory of your life.
Yes.
It changed everything. It put your reputation into question, your character into question.
Correct.
And now that you've explained it, I'm like, oh, that's where, because there was rape this and rape that.
Well, as in the whole, as in I totally understand everything that happened, and I have sat down for the 2 years out there thinking and understanding it. First, that particular time and that particular moment when we were having this conversation, 3 men in a studio, and how we handled even the apology after. It was a bit messed up because, first of all, we did not come from a point of understanding the mood, because very many things were happening.
Oh, you were not reading the room.
We're not reading the mood of that particular time.
Of what was going on in the world.
That, so many things were happening in the world. People were going through a lot. There was a lot of, it was during the same time of, the COVID, the pandemic, and there was a lot of lockdown. People were going through a lot. And in general, That's so, at that particular time, with all this happening, a lot of these cases had happened. That previous week, many cases.
Yes.
In fact, I know, I can't remember them often.
The names, yes. But there were many. Femicide became a huge topic
There was
of
a case of a girl who, I don't know, was banned. You know, there were very many of these stories.
The one who was hacked.
The one who was hacked to death. Yes, and then there was the issue in Eldoret. There were so many crazy things that were happening.
Yeah.
And the fact that we jumped onto that bandwagon instead of, you know, halting it and, you know, calling out all these many other, cases that were happening. It doesn't matter the reason as to why.
Yes.
Or what happened between that guy and that chick. Whether they knew each other for 5 years, 2 days, 5 seconds. The fact that we did what we did at that particular time. And that is the time that everybody was so, agitating and were pushing for all this violence to stop, for all the violence,
against
on women
yeah.
to be heard. And that's we're just there having a conversation casually about it. And we are people of the, as in, we're people in power, in position of, controlling the narrative, being able to sell what we would have sold. We didn't do it right. Yes.
So you realized this much after, or even as it was unfolding and you were trending? No. Was that when you saw, hey, Apatuli mess?
No,
this was
it
not
how it took me a while to understand it because, let me tell you, 2 wrongs don't make a right. What we did on radio was wrong. And, I take the blame for Joe and also for Neville because I was more senior. And, when they say when the ship is sinking, it goes down to the captain.
It goes down
technically, I was the captain. Neville had just joined the station. He wasn't even like a month old.
Yeah. And
the show was popping. Trust me, that's Joe can confirm. The show was really popping. The only problem is that we popped and decided to go the wrong route, and it just messed up everything. But this whole time, and we got suspended, after suspended, got fired on Twitter like on a Sunday. That whole, drama around it, how it was handled by the management of that particular station and how we got just, dismissed, it did not help anybody. That's why I'm saying 2 wrongs don't make a right. Yes, we were wrong, but also how the situation was handled and how guys ambushed us and how guys came for us and how guys were gassed up, whether they were legit or not legit, it's neither here or there. The reality of the situation is this. Something needed to be done about a situation that is still going on until now.
Until today.
And the fact that we were the poster child, the SI unit of fixing that problem, and it was not fixed. People thought that me getting fired, John Farmel getting fired, and Neville getting fired will resolve the issue. It has not resolved the issue. We were the guys who are supposed to be put there as the ambassadors to be, I expected us to be taken to, training,
proper
counseling, to be
to
told
go to centers where
to be,
domestic
where this thing have been
violence,
happening, we see it.
Victims
because
are
reading and, looking at things, through social media and in the newspapers, you get it, but you don't pay attention to it. So the company that we worked for, a company that I'd worked for more than 17 years, they'd have done a better job. We needed to come out properly and have a conversation and apologize to the people we've had. But from that space where you understand what you did wrong. This situation ile mtoi amemwaga you are cooking akagonga sufuria chakula ikamwagika alafu kamchapa ikaisha. This is a situation that needed to be handled better because as we sit here, as early as yesterday, there are cases of the same caliber. People keep on tagging me, telling me Shaffie Weru show. I can never engage with the people who say that because even them, they don't know better.
Yes.
Wanajua tu ndio, hii ndio ilikuwa shida.
Yeah.
Na hii shida inaendelea, so tumedu.
So you feel like this would have been a wonderful opportunity for you?
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you will be reprimanded.
Yes, reprimanding, perfect.
You have to face some form of punishment.
True.
Because like you said, when you have that level of power and influence over so many young minds, you need to tread carefully,
responsible, and very focused, and very pinpointed in every conversation that affects the society.
So this would have been a great opportunity for you to come back and say, you know what, fellas, we have been seeing this very wrong. We have been talking about this and not really understanding where women are coming from. And I like that you said that because we do need allies who are men who can understand our plight, understand that for you to be to be raped or for you to even face that femicide, mtu anakufuata kwenyu, anakuja kwako. So si eti ni kitu ambayo you are the one who goes out in search for it. It's not how you dress, it's not the time of day.
As in, those are not the conversation we need to have. It's not about how you dress,
no,
it's not how you went there.
It's like about, okay, so let's talk about this guy.
It's about the victim. The victim has been harmed. Why? Those are the conversations we need to have. And then, you know, the biggest issue I have, and sometimes it really pains me because I have 2 daughters. There's Milan, who's just going to university in September, and there's Nia, who turned 9 today. And the thing is, these things are still happening, and the people who are so mediocre, the people who are so shallow, they've decided to turn this whole issue, which is such a grave issue, into a boy and girl child drama or fight. You know, it's not a war. It's not a war between the boys and the girls. You know, when guys get jobs, the others don't get jobs. You know, yes, it's fun when guys just troll and have a conversation around that. But when it's issues that as deep as rape, issues as deep as, you know, gender-based violence, GBV, these are issues that need to be discussed in a wholesome way. You cannot put, you know, si Azimio na Kenya Kwanza. Because you see, there are boys out there who are facing GBV. The same way there are girls out there who are facing GBV. And it's not their fault.
We've even seen the recent case of the young man, Jeff Mwathi.
All these crazy stories that we keep on hearing. And you see, the problem is that now, where do we draw the line? Because now, people have taken sides. The feminists have decided, you know what, situko hii side tunapigania madem. So F the boys. Sasa, kutaendaje sasa? How are we resolving this issue? That's why these things don't end. And we keep on going, and because people just like yelling and just talking about issues, because right now, what are people talking about? LGBTQ, that's a conversation that people are having. That's a cool conversation that people are having. We need to stop having this cool conversation. We need to deal with issues and put them to rest, have solutions on the issues, and then we can jump onto another issue. Yes.
Now, Radio Africa, you worked for Radio Africa for a very, very long time. You had a wonderful relationship with the management, and you know, there was the talk of you seeking legal redress. I don't know if that happened.
Yes, it's happening. We're still in court, and I think the court had asked us to try and resolve the issue outside court, and my lawyers have written to the team. And the current GM, Martin Kafafa, a very dope guy. I worked with him for 17 years. He gave me the opportunity that, you know, has built me to be who I want to be. Then conversations, I'm just waiting for them to write a check.
Oh, wow, okay. Pesa inakuja.
Mbaya sana.
Tunaenda wapi? Tunaenda wapi, Shaffie?
Zinaenda kwanza kulipa madeni. Niko na madeni.
Madeni ni mob. How did things change for you? You know, I've seen you many, many times out and about. You never once showed that life
has been imenichapa.
Imenipiga. Mimi sahi I'm in the gutter.
I'm a Nubian man, I'm a warrior, but let me tell you, I was raised better. I kept on telling, I know we've hung out a bit and we've had this conversation in the, you know, outside public, but reality is the reality. Times that ilikuwa noma sana, tena sana, and I thank God, I say alhamdulillah, because I didn't get to a point where I have to remove my kids from school, change them to another school. Because school fees for my kids, it's rather expensive. I didn't have to move them from the house that they live in. As in, ilikuwa normal, but I had very, you know, dope people around me, people who gave me jobs, people who pushed me to do different projects here and there. Yes, the money, at some point, iliisha kabisa. But I thank God that it didn't get to that level where my kids now had to like suffer or feel the brunt, because now they can't dress up, they can't show up, they have to change schools, and they have to stop all these co-curriculum activities like, you know, horse riding and all these other things that they used to do. And yeah.
So you still grinded somehow?
No, I had to work extra harder. Every single day I had to wake up, you know, for longer hours. I had to push. I was in the campaign trail with the president. I used to carry speakers. I did all sorts of things. And the people who follow me on social media can attest. Because you know what? Watu wana tu ile tu life ya glam. They don't see the sweat and the hard work. And I can assure you, for me to get where I am today, it was hard work. I had to work extra, super hard. Sakaja did not just wake up one day and just decide, yo, Shaff, come, and be part of my team. No.
Yeah, he didn't call you like the week before.
No.
And he was like, I didn't even take you Kifanya events for 20 years.
No. Let me tell you something. I've known Sakaja for the longest time, and then our journey started when the Kenya Kwanza coalition was formed. Because I was on the side of the current president, former deputy president, as we were doing his campaign strategy alongside Dennis Itumbi, David Muredi, David Nzioka, James Muredi, Kina Talam, and the rest of the guys. So when they were coming together, that's when now I got in touch with Sakaja, because I helped put together the manifesto launch for my DVD. Yes, the earthquake. And we did all that, and it was so dope and so big. That's when now we started aligning. Yes, and that started in December of last year. Yes. Fully. So technically, I've been, supporting the governor and being part of his team from the December of last year. And I did his inauguration, which was, he called me personally and told me, Shaff, this thing has to be done the way
actual
you've
event.
been doing everything.
Yes.
And yeah, we killed it, and it was so fire. It was the first time that an inauguration was done the way that was done. Yeah. So I don't even think the presidential inauguration was done with so much, dopeness, like what we did for SACS.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So from there, that's when I stuck there. Yeah. Took for a job. Yeah. I stuck there.
What?
Yeah. How many months is it now? From January to now?
This is the 4th month.
Remember, he entered when? October.
Yeah. So you've just been working.
So yeah. November, December. When I say we started this whole process, it was January of last year.
Yeah. Oh, January of 2022.
Before now the campaign trail was opened. Yeah. And people now could start campaigning. Okay. Yes. I'm talking about December of 2001.
Okay. Or 2021,
coming to 2022. Yeah. And then the elections happened, and then he became governor. Still, I kept on showing up at City Hall. Priscilla Mahinda, the CEO of...
You're showing up all the time. You're hoping something is going to happen.
In the governor's office, they can attest. Niko na show up tu maze. No salary, nothing. Nakuja, nafanya kazi.
People complain. Oh, lazima ujisoko kila siku unaenda tu na hustle.
Unaenda kutoka October.
People were complaining that they weren't paid, and I imagine you were a part of the Nairobi.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the first project that I got after the inauguration that we did with alongside Clemo and Silantoi, who's the Waziri of Public Participation and Inclusivity. And yes, guys were not paid, but guys have been paid. Yeah. Okay. Homeboys paid. Homeboys Entertainment paid all their artists 2 weeks ago, and yes, it was delayed because that's how county works. Because there's all this procurement process. I'm sure even here at NMG, we owe you guys money, or the county owes you money. Okay. And in a come to, yes, I know it was crazy. It was hectic. It was hectic for the artists. Yeah. And they went out there. Whatever the artist said was a fact. It was the truth, and they've been paid. The only question is, Aroboy, Maze, the same energy you had when you're calling out SACS, telling him, "Kunikuba nje, please." Just do a small message to the youth man so that they can understand that issue is resolved, because there's something coming up. Yeah. We don't want the guys who are coming for the choir also to think, hey, tutakuja kuimba kwa choir on Sunday and Monday. Yeah. In fact,
that's not the case. Let's talk about the choir event before you leave. Yes. So it's happening this weekend?
After the Nairobi Festival, the next project, the big project that we're doing, is the Battle of the Choirs. This is for all the churches. I'm routing for SDA churches because, bro, I've been watching their videos, and I've gone to YouTube channels and they're doing amazing stuff. Yeah. So it's a choir, and we have shortlisted about 38 choirs, and then who are going to be in the semifinals on Sunday at the KICC. So the whole day after church, tunapiga competition. We have amazing judges. Some of them I've never even had their names, but I've known them now in this whole process. Okay. They're gurus and big people in the music and choir industry. Yeah. And then on Monday we have the finals.
So people can come.
Guys can show up. Okay. Entry is just a sock. Okay. It's handable. But if you see me, kando atana za kuingiza tu sare, because it's for everybody. The governor is there. Yeah. And he likes throwing good parties. Okay. This is a choir party. It's going to be at KICC. And the winner of the choir will walk away with 2 million shillings.
Oh, wow, that's big.
Yeah. Come support your churches. Come celebrate. Come hype them.
This is the best time to do that, actually, because it's Easter. It's the Easter spirit. The Easter spirit. So with this new position, Shaffie, congratulations once again. Yeah. What are you going to do? How will you help the city's image? How will you help, the creative sector? How does this benefit people?
I doubt there's anybody out there who understands the creative sector in the county or even in Nairobi better than I've done. I've worked with these creatives for over 17 years.
Long.
We've had our ups and downs, so I understand, I know what works and what can't work. And I'm sure with the governor and in his manifesto, you know, he promised that he's going to help the creatives. He's opened up all the streets. If you, like today, I was driving around the Kimathi Street, Kionangi Street, two young people doing their shoots in the various corners. So that is a sign that new things are coming. We have a new sheriff in town, and this new sheriff in town already is young. You know, he's younger than me, yeah? I'm like 2-3 years older than him.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, tutapiga job, and it's going to be amazing. And as for Nairobi, we're trying to make it the biggest and the dopest, you know, tourist destination for everything. As in, name it. We are the only city in the world that has a park within the city.
Yeah.
When I land through JKA, the first thing you're seeing is lions and, you know, wild animals. There's a park right there. You don't have to go into the wilderness.
No.
Iko tu hapa, you know, in the Nairobi National Park. We have the Snake Park that is just behind here, up the road, opposite University of Nairobi. So it's very easy to sell Nairobi. We just want to put it back in the map because, as I said, Nairobi is the New York of Africa, man.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to do it.
And you are. But this is my last question to you, Shaffie, and I have 1,000 of them, but unfortunately the time flies by so fast. And I'm so sorry, Jack.
You see why I interviewed myself.
Oh yeah, I see it because you know, with mainstream media there's a time, and online you just talk and talk. And I wish I could ask you about lessons that you've learned throughout this entire ordeal, which has taken, you know, 3 years.
I can answer you that
to get
just
back.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yes, adapt or die.
Adapt or die.
Yes, adapt or die. Wake up every day, Maze. It doesn't matter what life throws at you, because it can be a curveball, can be a direct ball. There are good days and bad days. Simple. Kuna story ingine, kuna katikati. You either decide the good days you make them better, or the bad days you decide to slack or give up.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't urge anybody to do that.
Yeah.
You make the good days better, and you make the bad days even better. Even better.
Yes. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's an even better way to end it, because I was still going to ask something around the same line, but you know, this for so many people who are cancelled out, for so many people who you know, they just had nothing, they were not hopeful.
It's not the end of the world. It's not
the end of the world.
And it's a restart. It's all about, it's a restart kind of vibe, because what happened to me is that yes, it happened. And all the celebrations that, all the good things that I've been celebrating, all the dopeness that I had earned for those 17 years, felt like they'd gone down the drain that day. Yeah. But no, I realized that it's just another chapter for me, just to give thanks to, you know, Allah, because, bro, He's brought me this far. It could be worse. It could have been worse. Yeah. It reminded me of that Will Smith incident with Chris Rock. 30 years, and then imagine, one night, one moment. And those are the things that kept me going, because if it can happen to Will Smith, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to you. It can happen. It's happened to me. Be ready. Just be ready. Just be ready. And remember, don't think that Kenyans are bad people. Kenyans are just Kenyans. They're peculiar. They act the way they act. They'll celebrate you when they feel like, when they want. Yeah. And when they decide they don't want to celebrate you, and they want to kick you when you're down, they will. Just take it. So if you want to call yourself a celebrity, or a star, you need to understand that one time they will celebrate you, and the next time they will hate you. Very true. And that is why, like now, me with my job, people have written about it. Nobody called me apart from Grace Kirongo. I only did one interview with her, but everybody's writing about it. Yeah. And I appreciate it. It's dope. But I know the day I get fired, they're going to write about it too. They will. Let me enjoy now. It will trend everywhere. Congratulations! Yes, enjoy it now. Go out. Well, no, it's Ramadan. So then when I'm in my house, when things go south, and people come for me again, I'll be like, you know what? The day I was on top, we enjoyed all of us. We enjoyed it. Yes. Now I'm at the bottom. Let's go. Let's lift ourselves up again and start another chapter. Yes. If you're going to join the industry, please know that there will come a day. There will come a day. There are good days, but who exalted you, very dark, and it'll feel very lonely, honestly. Thank you so much for coming through, Shaffie. I really appreciate this exclusive. I don't take